What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegis with you on a stormy afternoon. Everything kind of happening along the timeline we were expecting. Unfortunately, we knew that there was the opportunity for a few of these to get a little rowdy. We had an earlier tornado warning in parts of southern Lake County. Reports that it did produce a funnel cloud, no touchdown. So thankfully, no damage yet being reported with that cell, whether it be wind damage or other. So we're going to continue to monitor that. But right now, if thank you guys for joining us. Post in the comments where you're tuning in from, or if you have any questions, and I'll try my best to get to them. Above my head, courtesy of our friends at Weatherstem, we're taking a live look at the gray skies, the dark clouds in Maitland, and then some of the heavy rain getting ready to roll through Kissimmee as well, just below my head. Again, those live cameras are courtesy of our friends at Weatherstem, so appreciate them allowing us to use their camera network. Anyway, here is the nasty weather. We'll get in and dissect a bunch of stuff, but just want to off the cuff here as we are starting things with the beginning of this severe thunderstorm warning. South of Conway, south of Oak Ridge, we are included in this. The severe thunderstorm warning rolls into Kissimmee, back into St. Cloud as well. That rolls until 6:30 for both Orange County and Osceola County this evening. A lot of lightning associated with this, as you might imagine, sliding through. Main threat with this is going to be damaging wind. And again, we're going to dissect that coming up in a few minutes. It would have been the cell carbon fiber just south of Mineola. So yeah, it was going to be just south of Mineola and Claremont, Groveland, in that general area in rural Lake County. About what, an hour ago, give or take? That's where we had that one come through. So that might have been the cell that you're referring to for sure. All right, so this is going to be coming into Lake Toho. So if you know anybody that's on the lake right now, just north of St. Cloud, might want to give them a buzz, tell them to get off the lake. I'm sure if they look to their west, they can see the dark clouds out there. I mean, I'm sure it looks ominous. And again, the best vantage point of that is going to be that camera right below my head. That is in Kissimmee. Super, super dark clouds coming through, and the very, very heavy rain. Again, we're getting blasted with it in right now in parts of Osceola County. The darker purples and reds indicate the super heavy rain. What we're going to do now is we're going to be working out of the Melbourne radar, and we're going to just look to see if there's any kind of rotation in here. Again, if you're watching the news last week on News 6, and I hope you were, or any of our streaming stuff on News 6 Plus or on here, we were talking about that it wasn't a huge tornado setup, but that this was our sea breezes getting back into the swing of things. It's been a long, long time since we have seen rain like this. We've had the sea breezes ignite so far this season, but really just producing clouds, maybe a stray shower. This is no doubt that look and feel like a midsummer afternoon, where it's mainly dry in the morning. I know we had some rain come through as expected early in the day, but that the main event, that the rockin' storms were going to get going into the afternoon as the sea breezes kind of came on through. So no warning in Orlando, at least right now, but the rain is coming down at a super, super heavy clip. This is getting into the airport area as well. So imagine there could be some issues with the airport as well with getting flights in and out of here as expected. Oftentimes as these storms start to roll through, Edgewood, Pine Castle, Belle Isle, post in the comments where you're tuning in from, give your town a shout out. Oak Ridge, it's getting a little bit lighter anyway. Certainly we had the super heavy rain come through. We had a couple of people mention Eustis. I think our worst is over. Oh yeah. We are pretty much wrapped up now, but it was heavy. Some downpours still lingering in Apopka, Zellwood, Tangerine. Our heaviest is over. We might see this this line of storms try to push back a little bit. If you recall, and again, it has been a while since we've seen the sea breeze initiation, but a lot of times when you have the East Coast sea breeze pushing in, you have the West Coast sea breeze pushing in, you fire up a bunch of junk because of the collision, and then that line pushes west and east until it either dissipates or one of the sea breezes wins out. So we have all of that. Okay, so there is our warning. We'll get back into check on that in a little while, a little bit later. All these boxes you see here are special weather statements. The National Weather Service puts them out whenever they feel that the storms are getting a little rowdy. And certainly in Flagler County, Marineland, holy cow, we're taking it on the chin. We might have some hail in this. Let me check this out. This is going to be right around, believe we're, yeah, north of Palm Coast. Marineland's just not popping up on the map for whatever it is. Just had to get a little closer. So Marineland, if anybody's in Flagler County, I would not be surprised if we have some hail in that. There we go. The computer thinking that as well. Some pea-size hail. So nothing too crazy. But certainly there's likely some hail falling on North Ocean Shore Boulevard, Old A1A, Flagler Drive, in on that as well in this bright purple area. Typically when you see that purple and then certainly the black color pop up, that's that heightened reflectivity, as we call it, the radar being bouncing into something very, very, very hard, or it's ice in there that it's bouncing off of. We're getting those higher returns, as we call it, back to the computer. So likely seeing some hail in that storm. We're going to be watching this one closely around Pomona Park and Crescent City. That's going to be working into Flagler County in a little bit of time. Let me put a tracker on that for you. These are a little more isolated. Again, not a tornado day, but anytime we get a cell isolated and we have some shifting winds because of the sea breezes coming in from different directions, like what we saw in Lake County and like what we saw a whole bunch last summer, you can get these very short-lived tornadoes. So that's something that we're going to be watching for. Look at those ominous clouds in Kissimmee. That is just below my head. Heavy rain in Maitland right now. We'll go take a look in Maitland on the radar to match that up with the camera at this time. Let's take you a little bit closer. And then there's that super heavy rain from Altamont Springs still. Fern Park, Eatonville. Shout out to anybody tuning in from Eatonville tonight or this afternoon, evening, whatever time it is. Winter Park, Aloma. Bertha, we're going to get in on it as well. University Park, it's raining lightly. That is going to change. Azalea Park as well. We're about to take it on the chin. Again, some super heavy stuff coming in from downtown Orlando this evening. Let me see. Okay, we're having an issue with the Orlando Skycam on that computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go change some of the cameras here, so just bear with me. This is going to be in Lockhart. So if anybody's tuning in from Lockhart, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull that camera up. If it's going to load for me. It's raining really heavy there. Let's see. Holden Heights getting some decent wind. I believe it. It is. I mean, it's coming down. Let's go back to our friends in Kissimmee. If you're just joining us, this is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is just getting ready to push into Lake Toho through the St. Cloud area. Let's do some dissection. Let me get back to the Melbourne radar. Let me turn on the velocity. Not a ton of rotation. There's maybe a little spin there on the leading edge. Not too concerned at this point. But we do have some pretty strong winds. Radar estimates right there of about 45 mile per hour gusts getting ready to come in to the St. Cloud area. Narcoossee, Runnymede, New Eden. All of this is just getting ready to go onto East Lakeshore Boulevard. So if anybody's watching from, you got it, Teresa. Thank you a ton for being here. I wish we were talking about some sunshine today, though. Instead of, although we could use the rain. Don't get me wrong. This is one thing we do need the rain desperately. We want to go without the severe stuff, though. That's for sure. The ground is loving this. Let's just go without the damage if we can. If we can. Not like the weather's going to listen to me or anything. Deltona, shout out to you guys. Haven't talked about you yet. Lake Helen, Deltona, Orange City, The Land, Casadega. We have some super heavy downpours coming through. Very, very heavy rain. Wind gusts likely in the order of 35 to 40 miles an hour as well embedded in that storm. All of this is sliding to the east. Let me put the laps on, as we call it, the play button, so you can kind of see the general direction. New Smyrna Beach, we're going to have some rain and thunderstorms sliding through. This is also going to be up in Edgewater. Let me pause this again, and we will put a timeline on this. All right, so here is a good indication of where these storms are headed. New Smyrna Beach in about a half an hour. You might have some light rain going on right now, just some super light rain. There's some really heavy stuff coming in from the west. Glencoe, 26 minutes. Samsula, 18 minutes. Hucumber, 34 minutes. Mission City, did I already say Mission City? 30 minutes. Edgewater Junction in about 30 minutes as well, give or take. So you'll want to, if you're having plans outside, if you're having any plans outside in Oak Hill, New Smyrna, you might want to think about winding things down, as we have lightning strikes coming out well ahead of the heaviest part of the storm back here. Pagey P, good to see you too. Getting gross in South Daytona. Here we go in South Daytona. With that light to moderate rain. The heaviest stuff is back to your south and west. This may miss you to the south and west, so put that laps onto the play button again. Put this into motion so you can see where this is actually driving, and that stuff closer to Holly Hill, Ormond Beach is going to stay up that way, and then likely the heaviest, although we are getting some heavy rain developing on the northern fringe, that could work its way into Wilbur by the Sea, Daytona Beach shores over the next 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Carbon Fiber, for sure. It's weird. And then we'll dry out past Tuesday again. So hopefully this is going to take a little bite out of it. It's not going to get rid of the drought that we've gotten ourselves into. But we'll take what we can get for sure. It has been, so long since we have seen these kind of thunderstorms that you almost forget how to drive in it, how to react to it, because it's been, since the end of last summer, since we've had rain this heavy across Central Florida. The sea breezes are back. They're not here to stay. We're not going into summer just yet. It is going to be hot this week, though. Temperature is going to be in the low 90s in some spots in Central Florida this week. More on that for another time. All right, so let's check you back in on this warning. This is now pushing into the Lake Toho area. Over Lake Toho, I should say. Boggy Creek Road getting in on this super heavy rain. Let's check up the latest velocity. Whenever we kind of dissect this alongside you guys, when I put on all these different colors and things like that, we're literally tracking this together here as we get the new radar updates every few minutes. It's a new dissection that has to be done to see what is actually going on inside the storm, so we can get our dabber back out. Looks like it may have lost a little bit of oomph, but still pretty gusty as that storm is coming through. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning for Orange and Osceola goes for about another 20-ish minutes. So let's take you back up into downtown Orlando. And there we go. So that is what it looks like in downtown Orlando. The heaviest rain is now pushing out of the city. There's the radar again showcasing that we've turned to light green or some moderate rainfall in the yellow there. The heaviest now pushing into Azalea Park, Union Park. We were talking about you guys, about 15 minutes ago, and there it goes. University Park, the rain's picking up a little bit. You got it, Dano, 2311. Thanks a ton for being here. We'll check up on Deltona again since you're here. And the good news is for you, still some lightning around, but the heaviest rain is pushed back. Now, we could see the East Coast sea breeze kind of push things back to the west a little bit, or there might be this struggle where we have more development right in there. The sea breeze, it's a very, very weird phenomenon. It's the double sea breeze like this is just pretty much native to Florida because we have water across across on both sides to help to generate the sea breeze with the heating of the day. Okay, let's see, near the Osteen side of Deltona. So let's go check that in. If that's even English, check that in. Check in on that. And here's where you're talking about in Osteen, this super heavy rain on Howland Boulevard, Cortland Boulevard. A good thing is I'm not seeing anything severe with this. Let's just double check from a wind perspective. It doesn't look like anything severe. However, it is gusty. It is, the rain is coming down. We have lightning around. In between Deltona and Osteen, Doyle Road, if you're familiar with that. There's the heavy rain again just north of Doyle Road. I mean, it is coming down in buckets all the way from Lake Helen to Casadega, now east of Orange City on the I-4 side, east of I-4 into Osteen. And then here's this just mess through now Winter Park, Union Park, Azalea Park. Let's see if I have a sky cam to show you. Oh, yeah, I hope this one works because, okay, that one's not going to work. Let me see if the other one of these are bound to work. I'm just working on the other computer to pull up more camera sources for you guys. I think the weather might be impacting some of them, but I mean, dark clouds everywhere, as you might imagine. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, and it's not a huge tornado threat along the East Coast. The deal with the tornado threat when it pertains to the sea breeze is the fact that we have, and a lot of times when we're looking at a tornado threat, when it comes to the sea breeze, is the East Coast sea breeze stays pinned, so we keep the wind out of the south and east off of the shoreline. And then whenever you get the West Coast sea breeze and the storms associated with here, you might get a little bit of spinning right on that boundary, and they're typically short-lived. The East Coast sea breeze has moved in a little bit, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Hopefully not anyway. But with the sea breeze, there's so many kinks and curves in the line that sometimes we can get that very, very quick spin up. Again, they're not the long ones. They're not like the one that we had in Sanford for sure. Lake Mary area and the Longwood, just a few weeks ago. So we're not looking at anything like that. That was more of a larger scale tornado threat that day, at least synoptically, or from when we talk about weather on a large scale. This is more of a smaller scale, or mesoscale, as we call it in the weather world, where we have these teeny tiny boundaries that intersect, and there is really, really hard to predict because they're just like very small boundaries that these almost like a top, and then they intersect, and then they can make the storm spin a little bit and then drop a quick tornado. Look at all the lightning that has flared up. I mean, the lightning, since we've been talking, has gotten way worse near University Park now, closer to UCF. I think Steph said Union Park area. She has family there too, and there's Union Park, beet red. That rain is coming down super heavy. Trying to get you guys another camera look here. As this is working through. All right, I got one of St. Cloud. Let's hope it pulls up. Okay, so that one that I just put at the bottom, that is going to be Wedgefield. So that's going to be the storm system, or this line of storms coming through to your west. So that camera is now Wedgefield. So let me change the name for anybody. That's going to be East Orange County in Wedgefield. And then we're going to go to, oh yeah, here we're taking it on the chin. That top one is now, this isn't St. Cloud, and that is going to be Osceola Fire 67. I couldn't remember which number fire station. I had the camera outside the fire station there. So that's going to be in St. Cloud. So that's pretty much that top one. I know it still says Maitland. I haven't had a chance to change the name. Let me Looks like, okay, so the warning has been allowed to expire early. So that's a good thing. So no more severe thunderstorm warning. Um, no more warnings out. All these boxes are just special weather statements, meaning that it's going to be a pretty rowdy storm, but likely going to stay under damaging criteria. Okay, now I lost my train of thought. Where was I? Going to St. Cloud. See, that happens. I get squirrel moment. So going back to St. Cloud, Osceola Fire is just right on the north side there. So where it says Maitland, and I'm going to change that marker just now in real time. This is St. Cloud. Okay, so St. Cloud is now above my head. You can see the heavy rain coming down. And then on the bottom there is Wedgefield. And I said I changed it, but I changed the wrong icon. So that's Wedgefield on the bottom. That's the dark clouds coming through. So we're going to be able to watch that come into Wedgefield together. Here we go. And for reference, if you don't know where Wedgefield is, it's hanging out in East Orange County, trying to get your name to pop up. There it is on the screen. So we are looking... We're right there, and then here comes this line through. Let's time it in. So there is the tracker for you. Lockwood in about 10 minutes. Bithlow in about 15 minutes. Christmas in about 30 minutes, give or take. So that's going to be our timeline on that side of the line. St. Cloud, we are taking it on the chin. We're going to watch this guy. This is going to be just east of Kenansville. Not to mention Polk County from Lake Wales, Highland Park, Hillcrest Heights. And we are going to keep watching. We'll likely get, if the camera's pointed in the right direction. Let's see. Oh, I got a cool shot here. This is going to be that bottom one is Victoria Gardens in Volusia County. Hey, Jenny, what's going on? I just tuned in. Is the storm moving from east to west or west to east? It is moving west to east. So I will zoom out. That's kind of a good time to reset. So thank you for that. And we're going to put the play button on, and we're going to loop this over the last hour. You can kind of see how it's going. Now, with that said, the East Coast sea breeze is pushing in, and that might put a wall on that. And some of the high resolution model guidance would suggest that we see things fill in here and then maybe a push back a little bit or a build back onto areas that have already seen the rain. So we'll be watching for maybe rain to kind of push back into this area a little bit. We'll see if the East Coast sea breeze ate its Wheaties today to force things back inland a little bit, or if it's just going to be a little too weak for the West Coast sea breeze today and just let it go. So we like it when the East Coast sea breeze is nice and weak, and we just let it go. Let's get this beneficial rain. Let's not start any brush fires with this lightning that's prolific out there, and let's get away with this with any of the damage. And this will be A-okay. I know some people's plans might have been inconvenienced by this. We were talking about this over the last few days on TV, but we desperately need the rain. These those little wildfires that were popping up, starting to get a little too frequent out there for mine, and I hope everybody else is liking as well. All right, so the two cameras we have here, let me change. At the bottom, we have Victoria Gardens. On the bottom, we have Wedgefield. All right, so there is the line moving from west to east. The heaviest rain right now, we've been watching the cell that's been right around St. Cloud. It's pushing over Lake Toho. Let me stop this loop here. There is the super heavy rain. The camera above my head is from St. Cloud, and that's where we're watching the very heavy rain slide through. I just changed the camera on the bottom. Let me change the title here for anybody that's just joining my little banner. This is going to be Victoria Gardens, the bottom one just below my head, the camera there. So now we have that labeled correctly. We're just moving in and out of some of these different cameras so I can showcase you where the heavy rainfall is. So there is St. Cloud, the heaviest. It's still raining in Kissimmee, but the worst of the weather, the heaviest of the rain, is pushing back to the east. Also following into St. Cloud. We're doing better in Conway, Orlando, Ocoee right now, Montverde, and Mineola and Claremont, Mascot. We're looking good. We might still see a few scattered storms through the evening, but this push of heavy stuff that is coming through is starting to move out and likely will be it for the evening in terms of the real heavy stuff. University Park, we were talking about you guys about 15 minutes ago. Now we're getting in on the leading edge of some of the heavier rain. The worst of it, the heaviest rain, is back in Azalea Park, Union Park. Give it about 15 minutes. Bithlow, let's put a tracker on this for you. Grab the wrong tool. We're going to carve out that and then put that into Bithlow. And in about 15 minutes or so, we are going to be watching that slide through. Let me draw that one more time again. Let me get the line a little bit better. And it's moving a little bit faster than 15 miles an hour. So it's 24 minutes. It'll likely be here in about 20-ish minutes, give or take. Same thing in Lake Pickett. And I know it's raining lightly there now. That's what the light green represents from Bithlow and the Lockwood. But the heavier stuff is going to be working through. Hey, no, you're not too late at all. Welcome to the live stream as we are tracking this nasty line of thunderstorms coming through. Produced a tornado warning in Lake County. Reports of a funnel cloud well south of Mineola in rural southern Lake County. We just got done with a severe thunderstorm warning in parts of southern Orange and in Osceola County. And it is coming down like crazy on our cameras. That's St. Cloud. Let me show you a live look here. This is downtown Orlando with our light Orlando delivering Hope Skycam. So now the camera is pointed to the east. So it looked a little brighter over there because the rain was coming in from west to east. So the camera is looking east. And look how dark those clouds are in downtown Orlando. Here is what it's actually looking at, and it's looking at the stuff that is actually over University Park and Azalea Park right now. So some really heavy stuff going through. Page EP, let's go check in on Daytona for you. Kind of split the difference. So the heaviest rain is just up the road. Holly Hill, Ormond Beach, taking it on the chin, right over the Speedway, nice little downpour. Where it's a Speedway, that's where Daytona 500 is, of course, at Daytona International Speedway. Also Embry-Riddle, that's ERAU there on the map. South Daytona, it's light. Port Orange, it's light. Wilbur by the Sea and Daytona Beach Shores, it is also light. It should be picking up. Let me turn this loop on, and you'll see it kind of materialize, and the colors get a little brighter. The brighter the colors there, the heavier the rain. So once we start seeing the oranges and especially reds and purples, that is where we see the heaviest rain sliding through. So let's back this train up a little bit. Let me pause this again, and let's just do a little bit of dissecting. Let's check in on the wind. So what I'm going to do now, and up top, when you see the little lights blinking across the top there, that's me going over our toolbar. So that's our interactive toolbar that we can actually do dissecting in real time with you. That's how we can track it when we're on TV with our hand. Okay, so a couple of things stick out a little bit. It's nothing too crazy, but it's like just a little teeny tiny bit of broad spin right there. It's just broad. It's nothing too concerning right now. What we're looking at is the velocity. Maybe another one right here, and then another one right here. So there are a few little things that might be just a touch concerning going forward here. And that's how you would expect the radar to behave what we were looking at there was the velocity. So what that mode on the radar can do or does, it measures, okay, is the rain going toward the radar or away from the radar? Green represents the rain coming toward the radar. The red represents the rain going away from the radar. And when they are butted up against each other in the same general area, that means we have them going in opposite directions. We don't like when they're going in opposite directions at a close proximity because that means we do have a little bit of rotation. And when you see on the reflectivity, so this is the actual rain, the line going like this, the little dog leg, Sometimes you can get a quick spin up there. So we are going to be watching just for a little bit of shenanigans in there. If that wants to misbehave again, we're on it and we are watching that going forward. Let me just see. At the very least, would it just south of Bithlow? I mean, yeah, 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts embedded in that cell. Severe gusts start at 60 miles an hour, so it's getting a little rowdy in there. And then yeah, what this mode does, or what I just turned on here, it's it kind of takes all that noise out of the screen that I just showed you, and then there's some of that. So the computer is also picking up on the weak rotation that we just identified right in through here. So this is going to be innovation way again. I'm not too terribly concerned at the moment. But let me just go X marks the spot here. Let me just see where we're at. Yeah, and that's exactly where you would tend to see any kind of weak spin. But again, I'm not too concerned at this point. We'll keep an eye on it. It's going to look at got another radar product. Yeah, I'm looking at okay, so we're gonna just stay watching this for the updates. I think, yeah, there's a little bit of spin there. So I just want to give you guys an early heads up. Just again, we don't have any warning out. South Alafaya Trail. This should be working its way from southwest to northeast. Let me put a little loop on here. Yeah, so this is going to be more like maybe east southeast, so more like that. Just looking at some of the comments. There again is the pitch black skies looking east at downtown Orlando. Let me do, when I do X marks the spot like that on the radar thing, I'm just oh, if you look really, really close on that bottom one, you see the rainbow? You see the bottom camera? You see the rainbow popping up? How cool is that? Post in the comments if you can see that. Give it a thumbs up if you can see that. Give the video a thumbs up. This is in Victoria Gardens in Volusia County. Look how cool that is. Little rainbow popping up on the back end. Cool stuff there. And then compare that to the pitch black skies we have from that cell, the cell that we are watching, or that cluster of thunderstorms. Looking through, that is really, really cool stuff. You can't beat a rainbow in the foreground when the skies are pitch black like that. So it's so vibrant. That is really, really cool stuff. Okay, so let's get back to here. Okay, so we do have some, and what I was talking about before is, so some kind of radar meteorology 101 here. The radar that we're using is out of Melbourne, at the National Weather Service in Melbourne. So all the green represents the raindrops going toward the radar, and then the red represents the raindrops going away from the radar. So this is kind of the inflow into the storm. This is the storm produced winds. And then this is the area in question. It would be moving like this. That's the wind right here. And then we have the wind going away from the radar. So there is the rotation. It is very, very weak, and it's even weakened since the last time we talked. So it's certainly more positive. It's still gusty here, though. Radar estimates of 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. So again, it's going to be windy on Innovation Way. This is South Alafaya Trail. This is coming towards Sheldon Street. This is the beach line right in here going through. If you're familiar with that. So again, just keeping our eyes on a few. Okay, and there we go. They did issue a tornado warning on that. So what I'm going to do is I have to run on TV. So I'm going to put this to program. So you're going to see it black for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to bring this full. All right. See you guys. Why can't it be halftime? Why can't it be halftime? Oh my gosh, this stupid computer sucks. Come on. The computer just froze. Hey, Greg. Okay, I was able to okay. Can you have links 2 on standby? I don't have hand tracking on links 2, but links 1's being stupid. Well, I just, hang on, it's coming back, it's coming back. We'll go links 1. Okay, perfect, perfect. I will be ready in T-minus 20 seconds, I think. Perfect. Come on.
Hey, you want me to get started? Sure. Jonathan?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All right, my name is meteorologist Jonathan Kagis. I am very, very sorry. I know the importance of this game, and we're going to get you back as soon as possible. So you don't need to send the emails. I understand it. I filled out a bracket too, but we are watching a tornado warning again. This is going to be for southern Osceola or northern Osceola into southern Orange County right here. This is the rotation that we're watching. I'm going to hop on over real quick to my other computer so that we can get you down into street level. And again, I'm going to zoom this out first just to give you some reference as to where this is happening. So outside of downtown Orlando, in between Rockledge, again, this is pretty much right on the Osceola and Orange County line. We see what we have going on right through Old Railroad, Grade Road. That's where we have the rotation coming into. And when I'm talking about rotation, this is going to be the area that we are concerned with. It's kind of drifting off almost into rural Orange County, and this is going to be working, if it holds together anyway, it's going to be sliding closer to Brevard County lines. We're going to keep a close eye on that for you. This warning, by the way, goes until 7 o'clock into the evening. Again, this is for Osceola County. This is for southern Orange County. Per FCC regulations, we do need to stay with you to the end of the warning. So again, we're here for safety purposes. And I know that the basketball game is on, and we're going to get you back as soon as we can. Let me take you a little bit further. I'm going to switch the radar picture back, and you never like to see this. This is that kind of iconic hook that you would get on the leading edge of a cell that's going to try to produce a tornado. Earlier in the evening, about an hour ago, in southern Lake County, we did have a funnel cloud reported. It didn't touch down, so therefore not a tornado. But with that, again, the environment is at least a little bit ready to try to produce a tornado. So here we go again. This is going to be Old Railroad Grade Road in northern Osceola County. This is going to be just to the north and east of St. Cloud. For reference, there's Lake Toho back to the west. This is sliding in this direction. There are also a few other nubs that we're going to be watching on these little appendages on the leading edge of this line. You never like to see that. Let me go to the velocity mode again, and when I say that, that's just so we can see which direction the wind is going, just judging from what the radar is showing. And I'm just going to try to switch different radar sources here so that I can show you a little bit better on where this is trying to track to. So at this hour, if you are just tuning in, and again, my apologies, I'm going to keep on saying that. I know that this is a inconvenient time to be breaking in a program and going over the basketball game, and we can't go double box either, to my knowledge anyway. If we can bring that up into the smaller thing, but we're on here because it's a pretty serious threat. That tornado warning again rolls until 7 o'clock in the morning. Right here where my hand is, that's going to be the orange Osceola County line, and this is going to be drifting. If we start to see these two this red area and this green area begin to separate, then we will be able to jump off the air. The National Weather Service canceled the other tornado warning that we had early. It's my hope that that happens too, because in this kind of situation, you see these issued and then the rotation falls apart quickly because it's not a huge tornado day. We have had 2 tornado warnings, but oftentimes when you get the sea breezes involved, you do tend to get that. If we can hop on over to our other weather computer, Lynx 1 as it's called, that would be awesome. We'll try to get you a little bit closer here by going into some of the street level. Again, this is the orange Osceola County line that we are continuing to watch at this hour. Sliding to the east at about 30-ish miles an hour, and all of this stuff that we see back to the west, that bright green, that is the very, very strong winds associated with the storm behind it. I want to show you another perspective here. And if actually we can go back to Lynx 2. Sorry, Greg. Greg is our director. Clicking the sources through. We're going to take you a little closer. The worst part of the storm is pretty much right over Old Railroad Grade Road. I can show you another product that we have here, and it kind of removes all of the noise. that we would have when I just showed you that straight up velocity picture. So we have some strong rotation being detected by radar, which is why that tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. And again, this is going to be the main area of concern. That little appendage, that's what you would call a hook echo, and that little backward C just like that. So if there was going to be a tornado developing, it's going to sit right in through here. And that's the primary area of concern. That's where we are seeing that spin. The good news is there's not a lot of people in this area. There are a few though, so that's why we are on again, making sure that if we're watching basketball, that you know exactly where this thing is and why we are on here alongside you. Further up the road, and again, we care about everybody that are getting pounded with the storms right now. The most concerning part is are going to be these two areas. And actually, there's another one developing right in through here. So we actually have two now in that same line. So again, we're watching these as we speak. And I see the weather office phone is lighting up. Please don't waste your time calling the newsroom. I can't do anything about it to get off. I know the basketball game is on. I told you, I filled out the bracket. I need Michigan State to win. They're losing right now, so I would love to go back and tune into this as well. Here we go. We're watching that area, and this is why we are on live with you. And my apologies again. I don't want to cut in during basketball, but we have a nasty weather situation going on again per FCC regulations. Have to be on with you, and of course we want to be on with you because we want to make sure that everybody is getting this information safely to take the proper precautions. So here we go. Let me get you a little closer in. The worst part of the storm now is now past Old Railroad Grade Road. This continues to slide to the east. So heads up again on Tram Road, and now we are really into rural Osceola County. Let me draw this out for you. This is the Orange County line right through here. So if you are living on Tram Road in northern Osceola or know of anybody that lives there, might want to give them a call and tell them to get into their safe place. Interior room is going to be the best bet. I know a lot of people don't have basements in Central Florida, but you want to put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible, and really, really watching. That is a super concerning radar signature that we are going to watch. We need that to go away before that warning can be canceled. The good thing is here, at least, how far the radar beam is pointing, and let's check this out. Radar beam is coming from Melbourne, so we're several thousand feet up. That's where we have the concerning radar signature, at least one of them, and that's what we're going to watch. So we need that to broaden out a little bit. Let's check out the storm relative velocity. That's another tool that we have based on the relative movement of the storm. And it's even a little on the broader side. So that's what we like to see. And it's this, the new radar scan certainly has gotten a little bit better as we watch this. And even again, that understand that there's not a ton of people here, but there are still people here, and that's why we have to break in during the basketball game. Again, I'm going to get you back as soon as I possibly can, I promise. Tram Road, we're up next. Early heads up, when we're outside of the warning at this point, Taylor Creek Road and Nova Road. This is your early heads up to make sure that you are watching. And again, that's going to be right on the Orange, Osceola, Brevard County line. For reference, again, if you are just tuning in, this is going to be east of Orlando. It's in East Orange County, Eastern Osceola County, right on the line here as this is working its way through. So we can go in and check out some of the threats with this storm here. We also have some small hail popping back up. Again, that's not the main concern. The main deal is going to be what we are watching here. And again, we're just going to continue to watch these radar scans come in. Again, the warning officially goes until 7 o'clock for northern Osceola, southern Orange County. So I have to stay on with you for another 15 minutes. And it is my hope that the warning is not canceled is canceled so that I can get you back to the basketball game going over the next couple of minutes. But there is a little spin right there as that's working its way through, again, right on the Orange and Osceola County line. This is going to be the most concerning part of the storm, that little appendage. It has lost a little bit of its punch. at least with that hook echo that's been hanging out there. But if it's going to drop something, it's going to be right about in here. Velocity would suggest that we are watching this try to broaden out a little bit. Again, we like to see there be space in between the red and green. You don't like when you see Christmas colors close together, but there are two little nubs right there that we're going to continue to watch. So this is rural Osceola County. And again, just an early heads up for Tram Road. Again, you want to make sure that you're in your safe place. Here is the Orange County line that is going through. So Tram Road, that's going to be the big one that is up. That's our main road that we are watching. And again, as we just got another radar scan in momentarily, or just a little bit ago, just seconds ago, I continue to see improvements, relatively speaking. But we're going to be staying on with you again until this warning is canceled. Again, we are obligated by the FCC to be on to the end of this warning. If we see things improve where I would feel comfortable, where this thing is not going to drop a tornado, then we can let you go early. But again, this has been updated now. You see the warning was shaved back a little bit. So let me go check the latest data from the National Weather Service to see what they are saying about if they plan to take the warning down or not early. Let's see here. So they're going to continue the warning until 7 o'clock because of the rotation increasing. That was from before. But they will continue the warning until 7 o'clock, it looks like. Small hail continues to be observed as well. Of course, the main threat is going to be all that stuff. And I know you guys can hear me if you're calling. Please stop calling the weather office phone. I can't answer it. I'm on TV. I know this is a terrible time to be on. Please stop calling the newsroom. We're very, very busy in there trying to get things on. I want to get you back to the basketball game. I was watching the basketball game with in the background. There we go. This is the tornado we are watching, or the potential tornado. Again, right now, things are getting a little bit better. That warning goes for another 13 minutes. So again, I have to stay with you until 7 o'clock unless we see this red box go away. Again, that is per FCC regulations. And of course, we also want to make sure that you guys are staying safe. This is the orange Osceola County line that we're watching there. And then you saw that radar scan just come in. I am optimistic that the National Weather Service is going to allow this to expire prior to 7 o'clock, because on that latest radar scan that just came in, there's certainly a little more separation even further. This is going to be the main area that we're watching right in through here. Let's go check the actual radar. There's our little nub that we have been watching, and that little appendage is the concerning part that's kind of drifting out in this direction. Again, I know that there's not much in the way here, but there's still a little bit, and there's enough people in between that we need to make sure that we're on with you. Again, this little BTI of 2.9 at the bottom of the screen, that's the tornado index. The higher the number, the bigger chance. We have seen tornadoes in progress before with the BTI right around 3. So again, that's still an indication that the computer is picking up some decent rotation, albeit broadening out. Again, we like it when it's broader because that means it needs to be tight to be able to produce a tornado. So there we go, 50-mile-per-hour winds on the back end of that thing coming through. Again, I'm starting to get cautiously optimistic that the warning is going to be allowed to expire early, because I'm seeing positive trends on the radar. Again, there's these few appendages within this line of the storms. So the worst part of this is going to be on Tram Road, Taylor Woods Road, also, and then Nova Road. We are officially outside of the warning in those two spots, but that's going to be coming down the pipeline in about 15 minutes. I can put this into motion for you to show you how this kind of came to be. And again, this is the little nub, the little appendage there, that hook echo, as we call it. They're on the leading edge. And again, sometimes on these nasty sea breeze events like what we are seeing today, you can get these storms a little bit rowdy. So again, watching in Tram Road, you want to be in your safe place. You want to make sure you're on the lowest part of your home. You want to make sure that you are putting as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. And again, Tram Road is the only road that's popping up. I understand that this is rural Orange County. but there are people here too. And I know that this is going everywhere that have been watching the basketball game. This is continuing to push off to the east. Again, there's not much left to go in this warning, guys. So I'm going to get you back as soon as possible. But Tram Road, right here, I want you guys in your safe place. New radar scan just came through. David, meteorologist David Nazario is here. If you can send me back to the velocity mode to check this out with the latest scan coming back through. This is the area of most concern. And I'm on links 2, by the way. Area of most concern is working its way. It's pretty much right over Tram Road at this time. I'll get my head out of the way in case it's doing that. Yeah, Gino's going to click on Melbourne and then velocity for me. It's going to be right here. I mean, it's very, very weak. Okay, so it's getting more positive. But again, per FCC regulations, we have to be on until that warning is dropped and until or it moves out of the area. And there you go. David, did you turn the warning off? No. All right. Warning is over. Positive things. Go enjoy it. Basketball. Please don't call. Everybody, stay safe. We're watching this as this materializes. We're going to send you back to the game.
do a recap of this game. I'll start with this game, quick VO into a VO Gator recap into a soccer game. Okay. VO soccer. VO both sides. And then it's what, next Saturday? Yeah, next Saturday, and the championship game will be Monday. Are we going? I expect them. The old policy was you had to cover it from the first round. When I lived in college, you had to get into the round four. But I guess that's not the policy.
Oh no, Rochester jumped on the bandwagon.
Well, no, they covered.
Oh, they go to the title game all these things?
Well, we would cover the Final Four, not just the championship game. They would send us to the Final Four. I think, obviously has a management void now, as you know, so I think Sandoval is running up the flag for it. We don't. We'll know by tomorrow because that's when the deadline is. But they gotta, it's expensive. Obviously, fly two people and sail for 4 nights or San Antonio. I don't know. Depends on what Graham says. Hi. Yeah, I'm so sorry I don't have a phone today. It's all right. We got email. My email, yeah, I got 25 emails. I didn't reply to him.
Jonathan literally was like, guys, stop calling the neighbors, stop calling the weather center, stop calling.
Switching where? Switching where?
When you were like back there,
Oh,
like on the tree, and we figured it out.
did I didn't say that. Is that bad? Okay.